Welcome to your weekly UAS news update. We have 3 stories for you this week. DJI audited by a US-based cybersecurity firm. We have a custom FPV that hits 730 kilometers per hour. That's right, I said kilometers. And then SkyeBrowse rolls out another major product update, so let's get to it. And first up, this week, DJI released the findings of an independent security assessment that was conducted by a US-based cybersecurity firm called OnDefend. This was on May 28th of 2026, so fresh off the press. The assessment here evaluated the DJI Air 3S with the RC2 controller and then the Matrice 4E with the RC Plus 2 enterprise controller. The test units were procured from retail outlets and dealer stock without pre-notification to DJI. The assessment ran from October 2025 through March of 2026 and produced 0 critical, high or medium risk findings. Specifically, OnDefend reported no evidence of data transmission outside of the United States, no backdoors or unauthorized remote access mechanism, no unexplained radio frequency emission, and no supply chain tampering or unauthorized hardware modifications. Controllers also resisted jailbreak and firmware modification attempts. 10 low-risk findings and 13 observations were identified, and you can see them in the report that we are going to link down in the description. Primarily, these were related to application security configurations, session handling, and wireless hardening. DJI said that they are working on addressing the remaining items in subsequent software releases, which are now allowed because we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Testing covered 3 different areas: data sovereignty, hardware vulnerability, and drone manipulation risks. On the software side, OnDefend performed static and dynamic analysis of the DJI Fly and the Pilot 2 applications, network traffic analysis, and adversary simulations, including meddler in the middle attacks. We also have certificate bypass, privilege escalation, and jailbreak attempts. Hardware testing included full spectrum RF scanning from 1 MHz to 6 GHz, PCB level teardown, component analysis, and RF exploitation testing, such as replay, jamming, and injection attacks. DJI cited the findings in connection with its ongoing appeal, which we've talked about, of the December 2025 inclusion on the FCC covered list, which was not accompanied by a documented security vulnerability. The release noted that more than 80% of the 1,800 plus state and local law enforcement agencies operating drones use DJI platforms, and that 43% of drone business users surveyed indicated that DJI restrictions would have an extremely negative or business-ending impact on their operations. This, of course, comes just a few weeks after the FCC request for comments has closed on reconsidering DJI's addition to the entity list, prohibiting them from introducing new models in the United States. So we're watching this one carefully, and we'll keep you updated if there is anything new. Next up, Australian aerospace engineer Benjamin Biggs just pushed his custom Blackbird drone to an absolutely blistering 730 kilometers per hour. That's 454 miles per hour on a downwind run. Now flying back into the wind, the drone hit a mere 640 kilometers per hour, given the 2-direction average of 685 kilometers per hour. That's 426 miles per hour, which is insane. We've been following this back and forth. If you've been following us for a while, this is a design challenge to claim the fastest speed with an FPV drone, and it's been going on for over a year now. It's been going longer than that, but lately it feels like it's just back to back to back. And quite frankly, the creativity is pretty impressive. The team replaced their off-the-shelf blades with custom handmade carbon fiber propellers that feature a sawtooth leading edge. This design is meant to keep the airflow moving straight across the blade. During the fastest pass, the drone pulled 400 amp for about 10 seconds. The batteries actually hit 80 degrees Celsius, that's 176 degrees Fahrenheit, which was hot enough to melt the heat shrink right off the packs. Now, unfortunately, this incredible speed run is not going to count in the records book. They didn't have accredited Guinness observers on site. The winds were also gusting up to 60 kilometers per hour, and the drone didn't actually land on a clean battery. So they also lost one of their 2 drones at 630 kilometers per hour when the video feed completely dropped out. The team reportedly believes that this was actually caused by a Doppler effect that was messing with the digital signal link as the drone screamed past the pilot. Super cool innovation, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this again in 2 or 3 months when the record is broken again. And then last up, we have SkyeBrowse that rolls out yet another major update to their core videogrammetry engine. If you use their software for 3D modeling, you'll want to pay attention to this one because every plan on their platform now has the upgraded accuracy, better texture rendering, and then faster tooling at no additional charge. According to their internal benchmark, there's a 3x improvement in matching accuracy when you combine multiple different video sources. They also upgraded their AI floor plans, which are now twice as accurate and can be exported for any interior model in about 20 seconds, which is really impressive. Now, on top of that, their image walkthrough feature, which lets you navigate through structured spaces using high-quality photos, is now also available for everyone for free. As a fun bonus, we actually teamed up with SkyeBrowse to create a tutorial on how to map interior and exterior spaces using the DJI Avata 360. We have one in the office, and well, you can go on their website and see. It's a great workflow to actually capture those, tight, complex spaces. So definitely make sure you check it out if you fly the Avata. It's also great to see a software company that delivers more value and better product for their pilots and adding a lot of changes for free most of the time. And that's it for this week. See you next week for post-flight, where we're going to talk about all of these stories uncensored. We also live Q&A on Monday and then news update on Friday as always. See you then.
This is Trigger Greg, isn't it? That's the goal here. Coincidence? I think not.